Marta Lopez Flohr. Today she's going to talk about keeping it classy in the workplace. I'll turn it over to you. This is true.
Good morning, all. Happy Friday. It's a rainy Friday morning. Thanks for coming out. I know it's hard sometimes on Friday mornings to make it happen, but you know, we have work to do and a mission to accomplish. So, can y'all hear me now? I am super congested, so I have a doctor's appointment. So, today we're going to talk about keeping it classy in the workplace, and I have to say I did switch up the order of these workshops because it dawned on me that some of you get really excited when your resume is approved and then you start applying for a whole bunch of positions. And I'm like, oh, but wait, there's still more we have to cover. So I flipped the order so that we can tackle some key points today that you'll need in terms of developing your professional brand and the image that you want to project out into the workplace, okay? So today's all about keeping it classy in the workplace. The same student leadership and professional competencies apply, but let's stop and think about it for a second. When you hear of keeping it classy in the workplace, which competencies do you think I'm really going to tackle quite heavily in this?
Self-awareness and personal behavior.
Self-awareness and personal behavior, a big one, yes. Anything else? Teamwork and collaboration, all right? A lot of collaboration does take place in written communication, so that relates to that too, and I'm going to cover some of that. I'm also covering just like professional strategic planning again, right? So like, how do you write that first initial email? How are you following up? You know, how are you connecting with people? So that's really important, okay? So, just so I'm really transparent about my objectives with you today, you're going to receive a comprehensive introduction on how to navigate the professional work environment, including communication etiquette, professional behavior, professional dress, what to write, what not to write in an email, text, and social media posts, okay? And so those are the same competencies that we just covered below. On our agenda, we'll go over some professionalism basics. We'll talk about what to wear in the workplace, business etiquette, classy communications, okay? I think sometimes initially students, you guys have a really laid-back personality, and you kind of deliver that in your emails when you're talking to employers, when you're communicating, and it doesn't come across as professionally as you would like, and then they think differently of you. So I really want to tackle that today. We're going to go over social media accounts briefly, and I actually got permission from somebody that you already know, all right, to use a screenshot of their Facebook page, so we can just unpack, like, what does our social media say about this? Because what happens, once you apply, they're looking at your social media. So if it's not your brand, we'll get to talk about that a little bit more. Workplace scenarios, they're always interesting. We'll talk about a post. We're actually not going to do the post assessment survey. We are going to make sure we get our Tiger Talent task done, and one of those is going to be an email that you're going to have to write a professional email. I'll tell you who to send it to, as well as logging your SLPCs. Okay? So a lot to cover in 50 minutes. So I'm going to set my timer and try to stay on track so I don't go over today. Here we go. So what does it mean to be professional, guys? Like, what do you think that means to you? No thoughts on this? Too early? I don't know if you heard a response, but carrying yourself in a respectful and proper way. Yeah, I agree. And what does that mean in the workplace versus, being a student? Because in some ways, being a student, being professional as a student and being professional in the workplace, there is a difference, right? There's a different expectation of something, right? So I've noticed that some students don't realize, well, maybe I'll just tackle this one a little differently. Do you think it's different to be professional as a student and professional in the workplace? And how so? Give me examples of how that can look differently.
I would say you have to dress like professionally, like your job. Sometimes students really don't, but
So Elizabeth brings up a great point, like, as a student, you get to dress down, like, you can wear a baseball cap to this class, you can wear a sweatshirt, right, you can wear, I mean, some students go too far and wear pajama bottoms to class, I think that should never be allowed, but, you know, I've seen it. I've seen students in flip-flops in class, I'm like, that's too far. But it alarms me, quite honestly, when you guys do that and you have a guest speaker in class. That's sort of like, what are you thinking, right? Because you never get a second chance to make that first impression. So what if this is someone that wows you and now you want to go introduce yourself personally after class and talk about the possibility of job shadowing them or working with them in an internship as an intern, right? But you're dressed in pajama bottoms and flip-flops, right? So you never get that second chance to make that first impression. So be mindful of that as you progress through your undergraduate career. If your instructor tells you you're gonna have a guest speaker in class, I would dress a little bit differently. And I'm not saying you have to go all full, you know, professional suit, shirt, tie, heels, you know, stockings and all of that. But, you know, look clean cut and, you know, dress maybe business casual. So I'm gonna cover some of that today. Short question again. All right, let's just talk about how am I dressed today? And I'm not asking about nice or not nice. I'm asking about, like, how would you classify my dress today? Yeah, I'm casual today. I'm not in a professional suit. I don't have the matching blazer and pants. I just keep quizzing students on this because I realize everyone has a different definition and I'm trying to get us using the same definition, the same number, okay? So according to the dictionary, professionalism is the conduct, the aims and qualities that characterize or mark a profession or a professional person. So profession is defined as calling, required specialized knowledge, and often long and intensive academic preparation. So you guys are becoming, and I would say guys, but guys and gals are becoming professionals in for the hospitality industry. So I want to talk about what that looks like today. Key points to know about professionalism. It's a real comprehensive package. It's your specialized knowledge of hospitality, which is what you're getting on the academic side. It's your competency in all of that. Your honesty and integrity is a part of that brand and that package as well. The respect you have, your own accountability. I'm going to elaborate on that a little bit more. You know what you're supposed to do. You have to hold yourself accountable for that. You are young adults, and some of you are older adults, and that's fine, right? But you have to take responsibility. No one's gonna hold your hand through any process. And I literally just had this conversation with one of our students the other day. And I'm using this as a teachable moment with you. If there's an employer that doesn't get back to you, and you thought you were doing an internship with them, it's the onus of responsibility is on you to do the follow-up. And I don't know if you've heard that expression, like the squeaky wheel gets the oil. How many of you have heard that? You know what I'm talking about? Or do I sound really bored right now? Okay, it's okay, you can tell me. I own it. All right, so the expression is the squeaky wheel gets the oil because the one that's the loudest sometimes is the one that gets the attention, right? And so the student was being very shy and very hesitant to do the following up with the employer. The employer was interested but very busy. They're putting out fires at their operation. They're doing all this stuff, right? And this student was like, well, they never got back to me. And now the student doesn't have an internship that they thought they had. But the responsibility was on the student, not on the employer. So you guys have, like I say, guys and gals, you have to step it up. You know, you have to be the squeaky wheel sometimes so that you can get the attention and the follow through that you need to get the kind of, you know, jobs and opportunities you want. So I'm holding you accountable for this. This is no one else's fault. Yes?
Along those lines, there is a fine line there with the squeaky wheel because it's also the first one to get changed too. So there is a fine line there. You do need to be a squeaky wheel at the time, but at times in the workplace, if you're constantly, and then that goes past the line where it's like drama filled, then just remember it's also the first wheel to get changed.
Okay, great point, I like that analogy, the first wheel to get changed. Yeah, because there are some people who are like, drama, right? They just suck the energy and life out of you. And those people, like, an employer is gonna get tired of that kind of personality. I'm saying be a squeaky wheel in terms of your persistence of getting an opportunity, right? So just so that we're all clear, but thank you for that. Self-regulation, I guess that segues really perfectly to the point, right? Like no one's gonna hold your hand. If you know that you have to do some kind of report for your job by a certain date, you're not gonna get the constant reminders that you get maybe from your GAs or your instructors here. It's like the due date has been set, they let you know, it's your expectation to deliver. You can't be like, oh, I forgot. It's unacceptable, that's tarnishing your professionalism, right? And image is everything, right? So if you're, and you really have to think about everything you do that affects your image. So whether it's a social media post, or coming late to work, or coming, not being prepared for a meeting, or always interrupting someone in the middle of their thought, right? That's part of the image, that's what you're projecting out there. So be careful, like think about how the whole package comes together. Professional